not recording. Recording's better than
Are
not
you
recording.
sure you're not going to better double check?
No,
I'm
honestly,
not going to make that same mistake again. He says,
I can make any mistake
He
as
says
many times as you
confidently.
need me to make it.
Then forgetting your computer. I'm not going to make any mistakes today. No, of course
It's how
I'm
we
not.
learn. Mistakes are how we learn.
That's
That's
true.
why I'm so brilliant and humble. Ask me about it. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Time Expired. I'm Dave Hubney.
Where's your jacket? Was I not supposed to be wearing this jacket?
Okay, I said my name. The response is
I'm
with your
Richard
name.
Gearhart.
Okay, good. Nice to meet you. So we're getting into this podcasting. It's been a regular thing now, which is great.
It's been fun.
Really, I was going to ask you, are you enjoying it, or do you think it's because
I
today we're prying? We're going to pry.
Well, see, I don't like that. You already scared me because you got questions that you're going to ask me, and we're supposed to all both answer. But you've, of course, seen all the questions, and so you've had time to think of your answers. I have not.
I've not had time. I just wrote these things down.
But you know what they are.
Not really. No, I don't. I don't know what the answers
Would you
are.
guys all agree with me that that's not fair if you get the questions and I don't?
Listen, for those who regularly view, your statement last week about the production of this show was you should produce 3 and I should produce 1.
It's true.
So I try to produce this 1
I know,
and
I'm
to
already
put you in a
complaining.
better mood. And already you're down my throat.
I'm already complaining, I know.
Right,
Sorry, okay,
which is fine.
We'll be
So
fine.
before we do this, you looked through some of the comments last week.
So first of all, I want to say thank you because I didn't write this one down. But somebody said, I'm not depressed, because I was kind of
it was a darker episode, no question about it.
So anyway, somebody said they weren't depressed. They still enjoyed the conversation, even though it wasn't as light as the previous conversation. So then we had a couple of questions. One is about whether or not I enjoyed the pumpkin spice latte that I was finally supposed to try.
Oh.
I haven't done it yet because I've been super busy. But somebody gave me a great suggestion. I think I'm going to follow this, which was to have it be half white chocolate and half pumpkin spice, so it's not quite so strong. Does that count though? Does that count as
that's where I was going. I'm not sure.
I can see that in your head. You were like, going to accuse me of cheating.
It's like saying, I want to try chocolate cake, but I'm going to try white chocolate cake. And I did this. Remember when I used to do the existential questions? Remember that? I did that on the website. I was asking, like, is white chocolate chocolate? And oh my goodness, there were hundreds of responses.
You don't want to answer. You don't want to ask that question because people are really opinionated. But you know what?
No, you do. That's exactly why you do.
I don't care if white chocolate is chocolate or not. It is good. Both chocolate and white chocolate are good. So it doesn't matter.
Well, look, for me, if you just try any kind of flavored coffee and get a little spice in your life, I think that'd be a good thing.
Okay. So then the other question was talking about suit selection.
Oh boy.
We are disasters when it comes to suits.
God.
For a while, he forgot suits, and you wore the same jacket like how many days in a row?
A lot.
And so here's the Dave Hovde approach to suits, which is not much different than my approach to suits,
Yeah.
right? Whatever jacket he has and he can find, whatever shirt happens to be on him,
Yeah.
whether or not the pants match, and you borrow somebody else's tie every single day.
So we have like Dylan and Neil and I have a tie bin in there. And Neil is actually the clothes horse. He's the guy who has everything.
I've had to put up a couple of notes in the men's changing room about cleaning things up.
Yeah.
That's how much of it
Oh no! Here's the thing.
I'm saying it's him. I don't know if it's him for sure.
Honestly,
but like there's ties all over the place.
His apartment is in there. I mean, and he knows it. The thing is, like, I've had to start putting my stuff out here because he's in there.
I was one of those jerks at work who put this note on the window that said, "Your mother doesn't work here."
But there's also the other thing about so we have a it's more or less a restroom, but we change in it. But it's literally right outside the door, and we have so many
actual
newscasts.
Closet,
right? But there's a closet which nobody uses,
right, exactly.
And then everybody uses the bathroom now when we need to get in there for makeup. So, and then there is some staff turnover, so it's like this constant education process of.
Now, I would just like to take credit for the fact that I have one little bin that's always in the cabinet. I leave nothing out on the counter. You have to say that that's true. And I only bring the one suit that I'm going to wear each day into the office, and I take it home with me every day.
I have no complaints about you. Why are you pointing fingers at me?
Because I'm the one person who actually doesn't make the bathroom a disaster.
Agreed. Agreed.
Thank you.
Yes, you're a saint amongst men.
We haven't even started on the agenda yet.
No, we really haven't.
So and you know, like I have to say that people think, oh my gosh, you like have all these suits and you're careful about what you dress. came in here the other day and I just accidentally, because it was early in the morning. I have another job. I was like trying to get my stuff together, and I had navy pants and a black jacket.
Oh, I do.
So if you look really carefully on TV, or you have like one of those 80-inch TVs, I'm sure you can see those little problems.
And to be fair, it's so much harder for the women because people are so picky and they really track everything. For us, you wear a black or blue coat and just change the ties.
You're fine, yeah.
And honestly, white shirts are the best colored shirt to wear.
I tried for a long time, and I had all these different shirts, and now I'm down to like, I think I've got like 6 or 8 white shirts in the closet that are always like clean, and I just grab it. I almost always wear a white shirt, because then you can't make a mistake.
Right. Well, I remember Regis Philbin, and it was like the matching shirt tie thing, and he wore it out, and so now we really can't go back to that.
So I don't have enough time to like match all that stuff. White matches everything, so I just decided I'm a white shirt guy. I'm just gonna buy white shirts and have a ton of them.
I'm with you. Okay, agreed.
So that's the suit.
So we actually had some great comments about last week, which was great because I think we were concerned that it was really dark.
Yeah.
And so
because honestly, I'm a little grumpy today, because I have to tell you, I was out of town for work, and the flight I booked a Southwest flight because it was cheaper for the people who were paying for the flight, and that means that I was flying into Santa Barbara. So I arrived in Santa Barbara at 12:01. How do I know it was 12:01? Ask me. I'm going to be grumpy again, because you pay each day of parking whether you're not. So when that
minute mattered.
When that receipt came out of the machine, I was, with the business partner I was traveling with, I said, "Watch, it's going to charge me." And and the other thing that was like so maddening is this guy. He almost hit me because I'm like pulling out of the parking lot. I'm getting to the kiosk to do the parking, and he cuts right in front of me. I literally had to slam on my brakes in the parking lot in Santa Barbara Airport. And then when I got to the kiosk, it was 12:01, and I paid an extra $18 for 1 minute. If I would have walked faster, if I was closer to the front of the plane, if that guy hadn't cut me off, what if, all those things cost me $18. So besides that, I got home then obviously at 1:30 or 1:45 in the morning, got to bed at 2, got up. I have an 8 o'clock class this morning, so I think I got about 3 hours and 15 minutes of sleep.
Yeah, and then
and now we're between the 10 and 11 show, so I'm at I'm almost at 24 hours again. I don't know.
This shows people how resilient you are. You see.
So I'm trying to. This is supposed to make me not grumpy doing this. Yeah.
I know.
So I would be grumpy 2 days in a row. 2 things in a row.
So I asked him. I said, "Hey, can we do this?" He's like, "It can't be today."
But then we have some extra work to do tomorrow, so I decided that this is going to make me not as grumpy.
Okay, so here you go. From
how do you know you're old?
From join exactly. This is from joinonelove.org. 10 perfect questions to ask somebody on a first date to really get to know someone. So Richard said, "Well, I don't want to talk about my life. This is just to get to know you better." Okay.
But see, this is where I think it's unfair. I'm going to just lodge my complaint again. You've seen the question, so you've had a chance to think. I've not had a chance to think about it. If I need some thought time, I'm going to ask for some.
I produced the show 5 minutes before the show. So
okay.
All right. What makes you unique?
If you know me, everything. I am the most unique person ever.
You could just pick one. This is a sample. This is a smorgasbord, if you will.
What do people call me? A Renaissance guy. I have a wide variety of interests
and
a lot
flies
of
planes.
Has horses.
Yep.
Collects carriages.
Yep.
Has 2 jobs.
Fancy dog guy.
Yeah. Show dogs, show horses. A lot. I have a lot going on.
Rowing machine.
Yeah, that's what I do for exercise. Is my rowing machine.
You've done some like craft cider type stuff.
Oh yeah, I make hard cider. It's really good too.
Yeah. It's true. He's not making that up. You are.
So what makes you a unique guy?
I've always said I've done a lot with very little. So
There's a joke in there.
Well, thanks for that. I kind of know where you're
going. I wasn't even thinking that.
Oh, you weren't? No. Sure you weren't.
But as soon as I said that, I thought, that was not a good thing.
You are somewhat aware we record these things, right? This is a microphone.
Do we edit these? We haven't edited these things at all yet.
No.
Okay.
So you and I talk about this all the time. I don't think people know that, I'm an avid reader. I golf all the time. I go.
Honestly, you ask me you get into this thing at night where you ask me these crazy questions and you have like some new theory or some new author you're reading, and we actually have some amazingly like intense high level conversations that we should be having at 10 o'clock at night.
No, yeah, because we're supposed to be working.
Yeah.
But honestly, I am an avid reader. I'm into philosophy and stuff like that. And
when I think the very first podcast it came up about like what is our sort of spirit animal or whatever, and you like if you've ever seen Winnie the Pooh, you are Tigger
to the nth degree. Yeah.
So you're always like.
I do have a lot of get up and go. I get up on you sleep less than I do, but not by a whole lot.
Right.
And I guess my philosophy about things is doing things is better than not doing things. And so just keep making mistakes, and you'll get somewhere. Yeah. Okay. I guess you can go anywhere with this. Fun facts about you. A fun fact. I guess you wouldn't have to go with a whole lot of them, but a fun fact about you.
I'm licensed to drive a lot. So I have a pilot's license. I have a commercial driver's license. I'm technically licensed to drive an 18-wheeler. I have a bus driver's license, passenger endorsement on my commercial license. Drive horses in carriages. There's something about like driving things.
That's good. I have 4 hole-in-ones, and I missed one yesterday.
I say that a lot about you, like when people ask me, because like how many people have even 1 hole-in-one, let alone
I know
4?
People who are a lot better that don't have any. And there are a bunch of like guys on YouTube that are
not
really
to
good
diminish the fact that you have 4 holes-in-ones, because it's like incredible. But don't you think part of that is because you golf almost every day?
Yeah.
Like how many times do you estimate that you've golfed in your life?
Boy, I didn't start early with it. Like everybody else starts in high school. I started when.
But you golf at least 300 times a year.
Not that much. 250 times a year. We're hedging.
So 4 out of thousands.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Yeah, and they say that it's 1 in 12,000 is kind of the rate for that.
Oh, so you're way above so congratulations. You're
look,
well above the average.
I'm above the average, but you're right. I play a lot, and I actually play a lot of par 3 golf, so that increases it. Not all of them are particularly long, but it's still tough. And I was in theater for a long time, and in high school I played Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and I still have a really icky VHS copy of that.
And you sing.
And I sing. And I was in a band. Called Rubber Bullets.
Speaking of golf, I was supposed to tell you this, and now I forgot to tell you, and I forgot who the person was now. But somebody came up.
Great information. Go on.
Somebody came up to me and said that you were out playing golf by yourself, so they joined you a couple weeks ago on the course.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Well, yeah. And here's the thing. I love you would think, well, I love the game. And I do. But what I really like about it is, again, this gets into my whole philosophy thing. I just love being outside, being with other people. It's just something, and I can't think about work or anything else when I'm out there. So it's truly like a mental break, and I love it. Okay.
We wanted to save some of these questions for next time.
We might not get through the whole list. Okay. What is something that you want to learn or that you wish you were better at?
Oh, I wish I was better at so many things. And I want to learn, like, that's kind of my problem, right? I want to learn everything. And then I'm also like, if it's, as my wife says, if it's worth doing, in my mind, it's worth overdoing. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of like, I am a big learner about everything. What do I want to be better at? I almost kind of want to be a better person. Like I want to be better at.
We're all waiting.
Not getting angry. Thank you very much. I want to be more patient, and I want to be kind, and I want to be like less moody, like I am today on last podcast.
Well, you're an amazing person. We didn't work with each other for many, many years, and it's been.
I mean, we did work together at the same place.
But it's been a really gift for me, like to just be able to commune with you on the daily, and it's been great. I share that. I want to be a better person. I want to be less needy, more enjoying the moment.
You do a lot of self-help stuff, which kind of helps me because then you talk to me about all your self-help stuff.
Yeah, it's funny though. And I always say I am a tremendous hypocrite, and I've given myself that gift. Same thing. I mean, I feel like I'm working really, really hard, and I also think that some of this stuff needs to just kind of come to you. I need to be more patient. And the other thing, and I know this is true of both of us, less so for you, but like just the fraud complex thing. I always feel like I need to be a lot smarter.
Yeah,
And
me
so
too.
that's
Yeah,
one of the
me too.
reasons I read constantly. And I always figure everybody has something to teach, so I'm always listening and gleaning from everybody.
And I always wonder how many people feel like this, but I really feel sometimes in all of my life, even in this aspect, like I'm a little bit like the Wizard of Oz, right? Like if they pull the screens back, like,
What would be there?
yeah, I feel like that a lot.
That's good. I think we got there. Okay. I'm going to skip this one because I don't think this is really suits either one of us. Know any good jokes? And I'll tell you,
I can never remember a joke.
no, same here. People are like, oh, you're
I do like dad
you're
jokes,
funny. Yeah, I love dad jokes. But it's like people say you're funny. It's like I'm not a joke teller so much as I do impersonations and stuff like that.
I also hear like a good dad joke, and I think I have to remember that so I have a good joke when I need one. I never can. I never can remember.
Okay. I'm going to skip over this next one. We'll loop back to it
Okay.
because I think it suits the end is what bugs you. So now you've got that one in your
okay.
head. What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you?
So for those of you who've watched for a long time, I used to actually do weather and anchor the morning show. And at the old station, we had, so this set is like, all sets are always sort of like jacked up because they got to meet the camera height and the cameras are on pedestals. So in this particular set, the table's high and the chairs are high. So we're like, that's how we balance out. In most like traditional TV sets, it's like on a stage. So you have to walk up the stairs. So I fell on live. I fell going down the stairs to the weather wall when I was walking through the weather wall on live television. And it's really hard to recover from that.
I have a childhood one, which is so dumb. So we were at Lake Place with this was back when parents let their kids go near the water and didn't watch them. So there was like an inner tube. It was an old like tractor tire, right? So it's big. I can't remember how old I am. I'm maybe 6. I don't know. Big. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to drown. So I would put that. I got on that and also a life vest. So now I'm a good 4 or 5 feet off the water and I drift out in the middle of the lake and I'm screaming.
And you
like,
get it right.
And you should have seen like everybody scrambled like it was a Coast Guard rescue and people are paddling out in boats. And just one of those things like seared on my brain that like I was so had I been half as careful and just jumped in the water with a life vest on, I could have just turned around and paddled back in. My chances of drowning were 0%. But
yeah,
it was
because you were protected.
But I think
like don't you get you get out there and then you get like a little bit scared, right? Like one time I was kayaking in Avila Beach and I just wasn't paying attention. All of a sudden I looked to the shore and I was like, whoa, I'm way out here. And then you just like go through this little moment of panic.
I was recently out on a boat off the coastline where you just went out far enough where you can't see land. And I know we're only like 1.5 miles out.
Yeah.
And it makes me think, oh my goodness, people got in boats and traversed the entire world in these things. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That was pretty good. Okay. Favorite place on earth?
Favorite place on earth? Wow, that's a difficult question. You know, and this sounds like super dumb, but I think like right here, because I grew up here too, and it's like so much home. So it just reminds me all the time, like obviously it was midnight last night, so it wasn't so true of last night when I flew back into the area, but when I fly back to a local airport, because sometimes you drive to LAX or San Jose or something, but when you fly back to like Santa Barbara or San Luis Obispo, it's almost like this like sort of
visceral feeling that you're in the right place.
Like relief, like, oh my gosh, like there's rolling hills and oak trees and there's just like a look about this place that's not anywhere else. Like I was in Indiana over the weekend and it's beautiful. It's beautiful in Indiana, like all the green grass and stuff, but it's just not like home. Like there's just a look about this. And when you fly in and the beach is right next to it and you've got that combination of like rolling hills, oak trees, dunes, and you can kind of see it from up in the air. So I just really like just being here. The other thing is I just really like on a super, super cold morning, just like being in bed under the covers. It's like so warm, you just don't want to get up. I love that.
Yeah.
And then like another thing is like the sunbeam, like when you were a little kid, you used to lay in the sunbeam. And it's so warm. I love all that.
Feel like a cat, like laying in the sun.
Are those dumb ones for like?
No. Here's the thing. So I have the same feeling. Like I think I'm one of the only guys in the world who actually likes LAX. But so when I go other places and I come back home, and one of the reasons I always fly into LAX is because they can cancel all kinds of flights, and I'm always going to get back because everything leads there. You would think like, oh, you're going to land, you're in the middle of a whole bunch. I always feel this like, oh, thank God. I'm back in California, and for whatever the negatives are, I always feel like this is home. And it's funny because I've raised my kids here and they're Californians, but I came here 20 something years ago. Like I've been at KSBY 21 years and I was 3 years in Bakersfield. So I've been here a long time. This feels like home. And how I know that is I moved back, at one point to take a job in my hometown thinking, I'll come back. Everybody's going to like me. It's going to be a great thing. And I realized this isn't my home.
Yeah.
So this feels like home. But I would say like the most beautiful place. Like I've been to Maui a couple of times. It's stunning. It's stunning. But it's funny, like a lot of my vacation time, I don't always try to leave here. Oftentimes I'll hang out here. I just feel like there's so much more to explore.
There is something to be said about a staycation, not doing anything.
Special people in your life.
Special people in my life. Well, obviously family, right? Like
Right.
my wife, my kids are, like probably I'm still kind of surprised about kids, like how much you can love them or how important or how much you worry about them no matter how old they get. And my kids are kind of in their own lives.
Well, both your kids and my kids are taking off on their own journeys. They're becoming more independent. Same here. Like obviously, my mom is still going, and I'm close with her and see her a lot more. My brother, very busy guy, so I usually get him when he's in the car driving somewhere. I get that little phone call, but it's pretty meaningful. But I'll say this, and it's just true, that friendships around work, I couldn't go on without those. You being one of them,
I think
because
that's really true. Like you have to work with really a good group of people, and when you do work with a good group of people that you really like, that you enjoy working with, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
But honestly, like back to that question about the kids, like, and I know this is not really the question, but it's like it surprises me, like when you have your kids and their infants and their babies, you think like, how could you worry about them more or love them more, or and you think like at some point in time they're going to get easier, but it just doesn't ever. Like they just get more difficult, and you love them more. Like even when they get old, which is surprising to me. I kept thinking every stage is going to get easier, but it's not. Like you have the infant, they're waking up at night, and then it gets harder when they walk and crawl because you got to watch them, and then it gets harder when they're go to school because then they're out of your sight, and it gets harder even then because they're spending that at friends. It just gets harder, and you worry even more.
The love is just different. Like my son's, trying to get his life going, and we watched a movie the other night, and we just had one of those conversations like that we've never had before because it just kind of keeps elevating, and it's an incredible experience.
And I think it's kind of neat too. The other thing that I thought I would be afraid of, but I think it's kind of neat, is like when my kids start taking care of me or helping me with things or know more than I do about certain things. And it's actually kind of comforting in a sense. Like I thought I'd be worried about that, but it's comforting because then you've got this like sort of support system, hopefully built in.
Okay. So
hopefully they don't ever leave me behind. That would be bad. Not gonna worry about that.
Okay. So I think rather than cover all of them, we'll just wrap up with the what bugs you, because this can replace the your old one. But what bugs you? It doesn't. I mean, obviously there's limited space on the camera.
Let me think about how what I want to narrow that down to. So you answer first while I'm thinking.
My current one, it's just a minor one, but it's kind of, I've been watching like the financial markets and all that stuff and where I'm at in my life. I guess the thing that's bothering the most right now is, and this kind of goes back to my wanting more thing and just trying to be satisfied with what I have, but the housing market's running away. I'm in my mid-50s and I'm single. I guess what's bothering me right now is like this existential thing of like, what's next? But it goes back again to the philosophy of who cares what's next? Just be good right now, and the next part will work itself out. So I'm not like down or anything like that, but I guess it's the thing that just kind of gnaws. It's just always right there. And I can't not think about it. And so that's kind of just a Dave thing. And I rise above it every day, but it's just the thing that's kind of always right there.
We talk about this a lot because we both are like that, right? Worrying about the future, and that you forget. I always think to myself, I was like, every time I look back at my life, I think, man, I was like worried about everything during that time, and I should have just enjoyed it. Like when my kids were little, I should have enjoyed it more, and I should have enjoyed this more. But instead, I was always worried about like, am I going to keep my job and it's going to be safe? Am I going to make enough money? Am I going to, is my house okay? All this stuff that you're worried about. And so we talk about that all the time. But I do wish that for most of my adult life, there was this like little sign on, which of course everybody has on the refrigerator, but it literally was the little path that said life is about the journey, not the destination. And now I think I'm better at that now, but I wish I would have learned that earlier on. that to enjoy every moment. And but I think what's bugging me the most right now is just the lack of kindness. And I'm bad. I mean, I can sometimes be bad about this too. I'm not always kind,
Mhm.
And I have to work on that like everybody else does. But I think especially with social media, it's so easy to say mean things to each other when you're not like looking at people. And I wish people were just a little kinder, a little more patient. I was even just this evening, I was driving on the freeway, and it was one of those things where like, this person was obviously didn't know where they were going. They were getting off the freeway. I was like during my dinner break, so I was trying to get off the freeway at the Santa Rosa exit in San Luis Obispo, and this car in front of me was like dropped all the way down to like 45 miles an hour, and I could feel myself getting upset and angry because this person's like blocking traffic, wouldn't decide whether they're going to get off or not. And then the guy behind me is flashing his lights at me because he thinks I'm the one who's going 45. And so I finally just pulled off so that he can see there's another car in front of me and it's not me who's going 45 miles an hour. And I thought, all of us just need to be, I mean, who cares? It's like 45 seconds of your life. Just be kind. Don't say nasty, mean things on social media.
It's funny because there's a famous book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, but there was a little tiny book somebody put together. It's called like Zen and the Art of Driving in Traffic. And the whole tome of it was leave 10 minutes earlier, daydream in your car, have a nice ride to work.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like that simple. So I think that was fun. Wasn't that fun?
It was, and I am in a better mood because I was kind of grumpy.
And I told you would be. So again, we invite
How many
your
questions do we have left for next time?
We're done. I'll come up. Well, I guess since I've got to produce almost all of them, I'll come up with another fun idea.
Because you have 2 more to go before I have to.
No, there were the other ones were like the good joke ones. Let's see, what was the other one? Something you're proud of. I think we covered some good stuff in here. So I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good. You're okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I feel like I'm slouched. I should be like sitting up.
The thing is, though, I wish this was like a multiple camera shoot because I want to look at you, but I always feel like I've got to cheat out there every once in a while. So if you hate the production values of this, you can blame me.
But don't say nasty things. Just
yeah.
I mean, you can say it, but you can be nice about it.
Yeah, I like that. You try to end it on a positive. So, which is new for this podcast.
Be kind, everyone.
Be kind. I want to say rewind, but just be kind.
That shows you. You know you're old when you need reading glasses and you remember rewinding VHS.
Thanks for pointing that out, by the way. I appreciate that. We'll see you guys next time.